Hello, and welcome back to the Coop De Villa channel. I'm Scott Cooper, and we are back to talk about Aston Villa's trip to London to face Crystal Palace. It was Steven Gerrard versus Vieira. We were coming off a win, but it was a difficult place to go, and we suffered. And we will be getting into all of that and how bad it's looking for the future for Stevie G after this. Okay, so we were back after the win against Everton. We were traveling down to face Crystal Palace, and it was a game that we needed something. We needed at least a performance, some points. We got none of that. And I'll go to you first, Noah. We got West Ham next week, followed by Arsenal away, and then Man City at home. Will Gerrard still be there after those three games?
It depends how the results go, to be honest. I don't think he will be. I think by the time I get to England, which is the game after Man City, we might have a new manager, which is crazy to think about so early on. All the
You've got tickets for the Leicester game?
Potentially. Stay tuned. At Andrew Cozzo. Thank you very much.
We love you, Cozzo.
Yeah, we do love Cozzo, and he's helped me out to get my tickets. But I don't think we will have Steven Gerrard in the dugout if we can't pick up results. But obviously, going into the Palace game, 5 minutes in dreamland, by the way, I thought we were spectacular. Could have won the league in that kind of form if we play like that for 90 minutes. I will say the one positive to come out of the game was a Leon Bailey assist for my Fantasy Premier League. So thank you very much, Leon Bailey.
And his crossbar shot.
Oh, that was, dude, I thought that was in. I thought it was in.
But it was actually incredible that we were still in the game at that point. Because the first half, I mean, like you said, good goal from Ollie, good little assist from Bailey, Aman. But then from then on in, it was just an absolute horror show. The defense was like a leaky bucket. The midfield were all terrible. I mean, in previous games, Kamara's been good and the other two have been bad, but all three of them were bad in this game, and it really just looked like, we are closer to the bottom three than we are to the Palaces of the world in the sort of mid-table.
Yeah, we made Wilfred Zaha look like Neymar, and made Bereze look like I don't know, like
Zidane,
Bernardo, or someone like that. They are good players, but we just gave them time and space or to make them look that level above. Like the amount of times that, saw it was like a 3v2 against Casher versus Konza, and they just, play 1-2 around us was ridiculous. And after you get done like the first time, like Ezri Konsa, what are you doing? Like, just don't press, or you're going to press quicker, or just hold your line. Like the amount of time, like the same thing over and over and over again. And it's like, okay, if you've been instructed to press or to push up to get the ball, surely as a player, if you know you've got beaten in behind like 2 times, don't do it again. Like, why keep doing it again? And the same thing is, all right, we saw him, he had a bad game, but if he starts next week, like, what the hell is the selection? Like, we've been saying it in this pod since pre-season. Chambers had a good pre-season. He should be starting. Like, Leon Bailey had a good pre-season. He's been given opportunity now. Like, what else does Chambers have to do? Like, does Konza have to like break his leg for him to start? Like, that shouldn't be the case. Like, he's not playing well. He didn't play well against Bournemouth. He didn't play well against Everton either.
Well, I said to you last week, you said Chambers will definitely come in, right, for Diego Carlos. And I said to you, I stopped you and I said, what about Konza? And you said, no chance. And we all kind of laughed and agreed with you that that would be ridiculous, but still he was there. Tommy, another thing we were calling for last week was Coutinho to be dropped. And that is one thing that Gerrard did do that we were probably all happy with when we saw the lineup. But like we talked about last week, Buendia didn't really take his chance.
Wait 1 sec, I've got DMs. Oh, good. No, you're right. And we've said it before, and I love Emmy, but when he gets his chance to shine, I felt like he didn't do a whole lot. He was probably nullified. Palace are a very good team. They're structured defensively. They were playing some Barcelona-esque football at one point. And then when Coutinho came on, a lot of people said he probably warranted a point. So he gave us a little bit of enthusiasm, which is just weird because when you do the opposite, it's whoever comes on out of Emmy or Coutinho that does better. On top of all that, I mean, Kamara, we should probably just lock up our player of the season right now because I think he's really carrying McGinn and Ramsey as well. And also, I've been working on my math skills a little bit. How do I share the screen?
You can't.
You can't.
Are you going to show us your DMs?
No, not that. Not that. I've just got to let me just do my maths quickly.
Show us your DMs,
Oh
Tommy.
my goodness me, what is happening here?
This is high tech Coop De Villa right here.
You won't see this. You won't see
got
this
the pencil
anywhere
out.
else.
Yeah.
Wait 1 sec.
Oh, we're waiting.
Okay. Yeah.
This never happens on Sky News.
No, but we're better than Sky News.
Should we come back to you, Tommy? Or
No.
okay.
So obviously, our good friend Rich, a couple podcasts ago, I'm honestly looking. I mean, Arsenal got Jesus, but Coop De Villa have Jesus right now. I'm literally the Messiah.
Okay.
I did say Ollie will be benched, but I think he'll even be worse. He'll be gone by mid-season, because he's linked with the move. And I think Sarr was probably brought in as. I still think we've got a big name forward coming in, and Sarr was just a smokescreen at the time. And I do think Gerrard will be gone in 3 games. So anyway, top half is Steven Gerrard, 13 letters. And so is the phrase, get out, you twat. So 13 letters also.
Right.
I mean,
well, I'm glad we waited for that because that was brilliant. Thanks. I mean, it's a shame you couldn't have shared the screen. That would have made it all.
Oh, mate, I had size 13 calibre body ready to go.
You went the big guns.
I went for the big ones. I didn't think this was a Times New Roman moment, but
look.
Anyway,
it's not quite as classic as your Smith out, but no, I think we're all in agreement that after watching what I watched on Saturday night, our time,
Crystal Palace.
I have no time for Gerrard anymore in terms of like if he goes, he goes. I'm not going to feel bad for him.
Yeah, like we backed him. We backed him, and I think just the general consensus is meh. Like who's next? Honestly, pre Coop De Villa podcast, we're just having a laugh and just putting out some random manager names. I think a lot of people now are looking and saying shit. Like look at Brighton. They've performed some upsets. Was it beat Chelsea? No, at least beat Chelsea. Anyway, they won. They beat West Ham.
They beat Man United. They beat West Ham. Yeah. Brighton.
Clean sheets, if I'm correct. 2 clean sheets as well. Yeah. 4-0, 2-0. So, Potter's got to be doing something. I think he's got a shoestring of a budget. And I think it's almost scary if we were to get Potter in. Yeah, there's some, link to Villa. His dad came to a game in 1965 or something. So he's a Villa fan apparently. But anyway, I think there's the Villa link. And if he can do what he's doing with Brighton on a shoestring budget, he's not given mega bucks to spend. They've lost Basumo, probably their defensive enforcer. They lost, Ben White a couple seasons ago. So they lose their good players and they're not really reinvesting the funds. What I'd be interested in is if we are to get Potter, actually when, let's be real, Gerrard's gone in a couple games, if we are to get someone like Potter in, I think it'd be exciting to see what a good manager like him could do with a large budget.
Well, yeah, I saw someone put on Twitter, I'm glad that we've used Steven Gerrard for his Gerrard pool to get the players, and now we'll get just a proper coach in that can actually coach them. So
Gerrard, technical director.
Yeah. So Troy, but there has been rumors and confirmation that Ismail Sarr went for a medical at Villa Park. Apparently 22 million plus add-ons. There seems to be some news today that the deal might fall through, but this just sort of illustrates to me how sort of scattergun our approach has been recently now, and panicky. We're sort of getting into this panic sort of system where these aren't the areas we need players. We need defenders. We need, maybe an extra midfielder.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation that all of our transfers for a long time now have been kept under wraps. Have been done very, very professionally, and other teams have said the way Villa have approached them has been very respectful and very professional. This seems very, very odd. Rumors that the latest comment was that the deal is frozen, not dead. Frozen. I suppose we can always thaw it out somehow. Now it smacks of me of 80% chance that it's the agent buggering around maybe holding out for more money and playing silly buggers. But it may also be a case maybe the club has thrown a few doubts, a few question marks at Steven Gerrard's future and thought, well, hang on a second, let's freeze this deal and let's see what happens. I don't think that's the case, but it won't be long.
It's been leaked on Twitter. He didn't cut his toenails, Troy. So those were the personal terms.
Okay. Look, I sat there listening to Aman, and my head was, it was just nodding up and down like Michael J. Fox. I just agreed with absolutely everything he said. He was just absolutely spot on for the first few minutes. And I said this, I don't know, it was last week or the week before, that, if all of our players are firing 100%, we will tear any team completely apart. And we showed that in the first 5 minutes. What happened in the next 10 minutes? I don't know, but we kept making the same mistakes over and over again. Cash kept diving in. He kept getting done. So he dived in again and he got done. He wasn't tracking the guy with the ball. I'm sitting here watching this thinking, are you an idiot? How many times do you have to get skinned before you think, you know what, I've got to sit 6-7 yards off this guy and not let him do it?
His positioning on the first goal was atrocious. I actually blame him more than Konsa for that first goal, because
absolutely,
after you've just scored, what are you doing in this sort of no man's land, not in the back four, you're kind of in the middle of nowhere, and Konsa had to go over and he couldn't commit because he knows Zaha has got a trick in him. He gets on the inside of him and it's, he's got a one-on-one. So the catch was terrible.
It's funny we talk about looking good on paper, like on paper we thought, we're making some outlandish predictions. And honestly, with the team we had a pretty good preseason. Usually we lose most games and then season kind of gets summed up from that. But, I look at Everton too. It's funny, they're like, they've got Tarkowski and Connor Cody. They're going to be, a defensive unit. Nothing's changed. So, paper means nothing. It's just a matter of time. I think the players have had enough time to gel. We didn't make crazy signings in the summer either. We got Kamara, who's been an absolute unit. Funny enough, he's actually our freebie. I know we threw pretty decent wages at him, but we've got Carlos in. We thought we'd fill, positions or problem areas for us. Like centre back was one that need to get filled. Sucks with the Carlos situation. We go spend another 20, 30 mil. Then Carlos comes back and then it's like, well, now what do we do? Just an analogy. You think the bucket's leaking. We've got some major positions we need to fill. Like we need another unit at centre back. What do we go do? We're going to put more water in the bucket. We're like, well, let's go sign a forward. That's not going to fix the problem. But again, at the same time, Ollie and Ings just aren't cutting the mustard, unfortunately. And I do believe, as much as I said, Ollie should be dropped. Ings is probably the easier of the two to ship, because you could put him in any team and anyone would probably take him. I wouldn't be surprised if Forrest or someone like that come in with a bid. They've already signed like a whole new squad.
Yeah, so that's it. I mean, interesting. Yeah, we were all very happy with the business we did at the start of the window, but this seems a little bit different. This seems like now we're, in a bit desperate. We are desperate, and we should be, because the performances in the first 3 games haven't been good. We were lucky to beat Everton, and if we had not beaten Everton, we would be in deep shit right now. Even though we're probably in deep shit as it is. We've got a manager who has won 3 out of the last 15. Has a worse.
Is that what it is? 3 out of 15.
Yep. It's has a worse winning percentage than Lampard and Gary Neville and all these coaches that did notoriously bad in the past. So it's a bad position we're in. We've lost our assistant coach, who many of us thought was the real sort of brains of the operation. Things I can't see us beating. You look at the way the league's sort of panning out at the moment. Fulham are doing really well. Leeds are doing really well. All the this could be a really tight relegation year where there's 6 or 7 teams that are in it. And if we get dragged into that, then boy,
that's what I'm saying. We can't wait 5 games, and then we're like, well, we've got 2 points and there's like 4 or 5 teams around there. Because like, where we're going to get 3 consecutive wins to really be safe. Funny enough, we talk about ex-players going to coaching. Gerrard, let's be real, pretty shit. Rangers, doesn't matter. It's a Mickey Mouse league. Lampard, shit. It's funny that a lot of the ex-Arsenal players are doing well. Arteta learned a lot under Wenger. Obviously then going to Man City as well and employing his trade there. Vieira, I think we're not giving Vieira enough credit. It's probably his first proper coaching job, and he's revolutionised Palace. It's funny that we thought, if Arteta gets the boot, he wasn't performing well the last season and a half, that Vieira all of a sudden will, be the heir to the throne. Also, just want to say pre-season, I did say Arsenal will finish in the 4, so I'm just going to put my hand up there. My Chelsea to win the league prediction, that one goes out the window though.
You're
So.
very modest, Tommy. You're very modest of yourself, mate. Very modest.
Well, I'm saying like it's Arsenal, like these are Vieira, like Arteta's out of the equation. Arsenal are buzzing right now, but I just think what Vieira's been able to do with Palace. Let's be honest, it's not like he's got some crazy name signings. Also felt like they got Eduard on a bargain. We were linked with him for like 30 mil at one stage. Lucky we never pulled the trigger because he's good, but I mean, is he cutting the Premier League mustard? Maybe not. He's probably just a mediocre forward that you can bring on.
And he's not the only one. Like Jesse Marsh is doing well. Thomas Frank at Brentford. There's all these guys that have got way smaller clubs and way smaller budgets than us.
Going back to what you just said, Scotty, that come the end of the season, this could be. I mean, it could end up being a 7-way scrap down the bottom. I read the other day. I haven't checked the stats to see how accurate it is, but since his time here, if you spread that out over a season, Gerrard's going to average about 48 points. And given the start and given how we're looking, will we get 48 points? If you take a couple of wins off that, we're in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I don't know where our next point is going to come from. We don't look like scoring goals. We don't really look like ever keeping a clean sheet ever.
I think one into the season as well. In Martinez, he's gone 100%.
And for me, like what he's done with the youth. I mean, we all spoke at the start of the season. Chukwuemeka went to Chelsea. Okay, a lot of people had the opinion like, look, he's just a big head. He's got an ego. He wants too much money. All this kind of stuff, and a lot of that it could be true. And but my point of view was like, these young guys that are coming through need to be given games. There was plenty of games last season he could have been played, and he wasn't played. And now we've got a midfield that can't do fuck all, right? I would have loved Chukwuemeka in there on the weekend because
I agree. He's laughing right now. He's laughing at us saying, well, dodge the bullet, Even Tim. Where's Tim? I felt like he actually played. I did see something, though, and it's funny. They go, I think it was a tweet or a Facebook. They go, the one player that was actually doing really well under Gerrard pre-injury was actually Nakamba. And I know we give him shit, but he was doing well at one point. Yes, all right, he's a super passer, but his job is to just clean up the scraps and almost that Makalele role. It's not a pretty role.
I had a question about this. I had a question about this written down I was going to ask, any of you can answer. Should we go to a double pivot? Should we have Nakamba and Kamara sitting in front of the back four, and maybe someone like a Ramsey or a Buendia floating in front?
When the game was on the line, I think on the weekend, I thought we needed to do that because they were carving us apart way too. They were dominating the midfield. They were destroying us. And we didn't change the midfield at all, really, until it was too late. I don't think we made many subs until I think it was 3-1, and then McGinn and all that came off. We needed to go to a 2 CDM formation at halftime. They were all over us, absolutely all over us. And it was
even earlier than that. I mean, how hard is it just to say, all right, McGinn, you sit in for 15 here. We're under the pump, but he can't do it. McGinn can't do it.
That's the biggest mistake that Gerrard made, making McGinn captain. Like I get it. He's a lovable figure in the locker room.
He's not a
and all of that, but he's not. By making someone captain, that means you don't drop them. So you're going to tell me after 4 games we're going to drop our captain? Like, it's not going to work. And you look at the traditional top 6 or top 7 clubs. John McGinn starting in central midfield for any of those teams? No chance. No chance. Does John McGinn start in central midfield at Wolves? Does he start over Neves? No.
And the answer is just pointing you in the face. Emi Martinez, never going to get dropped, ever. One of our longest serving players, one of the best characters in the dressing room.
And intelligent.
Yes.
In the league.
He is a captain. I just don't think McGinn is the figure of a captain. But speaking about Gerrard and being tactical and stuff, what we're talking about is I have a tweet that's been looking at waiting for this podcast from Simon from Villa on Tour. He's always at every game. He sees every game live. And he goes, gave him the benefit of the doubt last season, despite massive doubts over his tactical skills as a coach.
Yes.
But I've already seen enough already to know this isn't going to work. Been here 9 months and I'm not sure what the plan is. Don't give him any more money. He's out of his depth.
Who said that, Noah?
Simon Lyons from Villa on Tour.
Yeah.
Spot on. It's
very
spot
credible.
on. Like, he sees them every week. We only watch
Look.
it on TV, but he watches everything.
Look, Ramsey's regressing. Cash is regressing. Conce has regressed to a point where he might as well be taken out into a paddock and shot, right? Mings, everything that he did with Mings, with the whole calling him out in the media and everything, like he looks like a shell of himself. It's not good enough. And
I reckon players can't wait for him to be gone, to be honest.
our best right back is playing for Huddersfield right now. It's not good enough.
I think Tommy's onto something here. Is it a case where Gerrard's coaching isn't good enough, or is it a case where players have seen his style, players have seen what happened with the captaincy saga, and they don't particularly want to play for him, and this is their way of getting him out?
We need points anyway. I think the club I don't think the players want to put themselves in a chance to get relegated, in my opinion. I think they still want
We don't want to go through that again, but also our squad's much stronger now, so it's actually embarrassing for even.
I know, but I think Carlos is going to be a bigger loss than what people are going to realise, because him in the first 2 games of the season was incredible, in my opinion, as a centre back, one of the best we've had in a long time, as a genuine ball winning centre back.
Definitely.
So underrated for us.
Chambers has to play. Chambers has got to play.
Underrated. If you put a 10 million price tag on him, we'd play him because games are free.
Yeah, but I still think he's just good. He's smart.
This thing's actually the best out of all centre backs we have. Even Carlos Chambers' positioning is actually the best.
Yeah,
and reading the play, and he can ping a ball.
Well, he's better than Conca, and that's all he has to be better than to play, right?
I know, but Tom was saying like how Arteta is a good coach. Chambers was at Arsenal under Arteta for 2.5 years.
Great.
2.5
technical
years.
player.
And watching that Arsenal documentary, Arteta is so like under the pump with his players and demanding so much out of his players that he will know what to do. He will know what to do. He's a good player. He needs to play. He's got to play.
And one other thing that was brought up a lot by people that were at the game in the away end was the fact that none of the players came over. Only Tyrone Mings, I think.
I think I said 4 players.
4 players. Only 4 players came to the away end to clap them. They did a 5.5 hour trip. They saw that shit show that we all watched. So there seems to be a bit of a disconnect there. Like you said, seeing Arteta in this Arsenal all or nothing, I can't see Gerrard doing that sort of thing. Like, I don't know what goes on behind the closed doors, but he seems to be pissed off, prickly, and it's just going all downhill right now.
Oh, you're muted, Troy. You're muted, Troy.
Sorry, just go back to Zaha. We were talking about him.
Turn it off, mute, Troy.
Am I muted?
No.
Just going back to Zaha. I think tactics aside, the number one thing Gerrard should have sent his team out to say was, don't let this guy wind you up.
Yeah.
He is
a wind-up merchant.
He is a Black Robbie Savage. He's a decent player, but he's a wind-up merchant. He's 80% wind-up, 20% talent. Don't let him wind you up, and that's it. Cash got wound up by him. McGinn got wound up by him, and he took advantage of that.
McGinn got wound up by him before he even walked on the pitch. This is hanging over from last season between them two.
100%.
And he's supposed to be the captain now. It's not the best look, is it?
No, and McGinn also got a yellow card 25 minutes into the game.
Stupid foul.
That was so stupid as well. And then he could have easily got sent off for that other foul early in the second half.
You should have been sent off 14 times over with the number of yellow cards he should have had. It was absolutely ridiculous. Just touching on McGinn and the captaincy thing, I think social media has a lot to blame for this, and I think Gerrard was, and I said this last week, was looking at the popularity contest, because when he said, I'm giving the captaincy to McGinn, 90% of people on Twitter were, oh, this is brilliant, what a great move, McGinn's the man, blah blah blah, and they've turned on him something chronic. And I think
we need to change the song to "We've Got McGinn, Super John McGinn." You just don't
throw him in the bin.
Yeah, we don't understand how bad it is.
Yeah.
But
I think,
He's
but
still gonna be
again,
a
it's
fan favorite.
but again that game came down to me to game management. Crystal Palace had it. We simply didn't, not by a million miles.
no, not at all. And one positive for me is that we've got Bolton on Tuesday night. We've got an
play
opportunity.
Archer. Play Archer.
Play a good team because we need a win, right? But yes, I would play Archer. I would play, well, I don't know who's left, but Kessler Hayden and these kind of guys, if they were still here, I'd be playing.
Ben Crescenti, I'd play.
Yeah, maybe Tim. Get Timmy in there. But, we need to win that game because we need to sort of turn the narrative round, and I think this is a good chance to do that and to hopefully give us a bit of confidence.
We need a win. As you said,
we
Scotty,
had
because
all these promising youth come through, and what he's done is he's just like pissed them all off on loan. I know they need to develop, but if it's not working, just throw a youngster in the mix. I feel like Philogene Badace would have more to prove on the wing than El Ghazi or whoever we're going to bloody bring on. I don't know.
But
well, a lot of Twitter rumors I saw today was he's happy to let Archer go out on loan, which is crazy.
That was going to be part of the SAR deal.
Was
apparently.
it?
Yeah, they wanted Archer on loan or Courtney Horse in return for us getting SAR.
Give him Horse for free. What do you mean?
Well, I don't understand you've got Archer who's a young guy, comes through the system, right? He's got more value for us than SAR, in my opinion. I mean,
100%
we've got 3 or 4 SARs, really. We're getting rid of Traore. He's gone to Turkey. El Ghazi, Bailey. We've got plenty of guys who've got.
We've got to
pace,
sell those
right?
guys though. El Ghazi, we've got to do a massive clear out before we buy another winger, in my opinion. El Ghazi,
who's going to buy them? No one's going to buy them,
No.
and it just the whole SAR thing. Fair enough, we're linked to him, but if we don't sign another centre back, it's ridiculous. We signed Diego Carlos because we identified that there was we needed a quality centre back in the centre of defence. And I'm guessing we probably wouldn't have signed another centre back if Carlos wasn't injured. But in saying that, next season, I'm pretty sure we would have upgraded the other centre back, right?
Yeah.
So all it means is you just got to shift. You just got to shift your plans one season ahead, which to me doesn't seem that much of a big deal. And it's more important to get a centre back in.
Right.
It's more important to get a number 8 in than it is to go and get a right winger. We've already got Leon Bailey, who's showing sign. He's not lighting it up or tearing it up by any means, but he's doing better than what he was last year. We know Buendia can also play good coming in off the right side as well. So why are we signing SAR? I saw a tweet, if we're playing this 2 up top, is SAR going to play as one of the 2 up top? When I saw a tweet that says he plays his best football on the right. He doesn't play his best football on the left. He plays it on the right. And we've got 3 right wingers. Unless we're planning to put SAR left centre back or right centre back, I just don't see the point.
CDM, I reckon, SAR.
Yeah.
Well, yes, I think I agree with you. I think why not just buy another really good centre back, and then when Diego Carlos does come back, he's got more time to go into the team slowly.
But who do we get?
Give 50 million to Palace for Anderson. People will say you're paying overs. He's a good player. He's a good centre back. Give him 50, 60 million. He's a good player.
Carter, don't get hot-headed. Relax.
What do you mean? Did you not watch him on the weekend?
I did,
he's a good player.
He was playing Villa. We're no good.
Yeah, but all right, did you not watch him against Nunez when Liverpool played Palace as well? He had Nunez in his back pocket. He's a good player.
He's a good player. I don't think he's worth 50, 60 million.
There are plenty of options out there. I mean, you could get Lewis Dunk, even
one of those guys.
That.
I would like Lewis Dunk.
Yeah.
What about Tommy from Arsenal? Because now they've got White and Saliba.
He's playing fullback. He's playing it on the right back.
Back.
But I would take him. I'd take him. Honestly, I think our best chance is to.
Oh wait, Chalobah was the one that we're linked with from Chelsea.
Yeah, he'd be good. I like him.
And I think just because we're talking about SAR doesn't necessarily mean the club have given up on signing a centre back. I think they can walk and chew gum at the same time. So I wouldn't be surprised if a centre back comes in. But what does the SAR move say? That Gerrard has looked at it and thought, okay, maybe we need a couple of different tactical options. Maybe he's realized that what he's trying to do isn't working and he's willing to go down another route. As a manager, I think you've got to give him credit for that, to realize that things aren't working the way he wants it to work. Maybe he wants to change. Who knows?
So yeah, let's finish off with the game that was actually just awful.
Yeah.
Anything from the substitutes or the later part of the
It's
game
too late.
that
It's too late.
no.
too
I mean,
late.
Coutinho had a couple little moments. He looked better than when he starts. Like,
Well, that seems to be the thing, though. Like either Buendia or Coutinho, who is ever subbed on, seems to be good for us.
yeah, it
I
does
know it's
better.
going to sound dumb. Maybe don't start either. Maybe play McGinn in that role. It's his natural role, for
It is
God's
his
sake.
natural, but I'll tell you what, the game that chance later in the first half, when Dia scores that, puts us 2-1 up, the game changes, in my opinion.
Yep.
And the penalty, we haven't touched on the handball. I don't think it was a pen, but
Yeah, but like Troy said, a couple moments, like all in all, the performance was shit. Yes, we could have scored,
no,
but
we were shit.
we know.
We didn't deserve it.
And like Troy said, it's been shit, but when we win, it's just some shiny shit for this.
But don't
week,
worry,
you know?
as Steven Gerrard was saying in his press conference, it's on him. It's on him, not on the players. It's on him. On him.
Well,
Yeah, okay, well,
it will be on him when he gets given the arse. I'll
But
tell you.
as I said, there were moments in the game when Dia's shot, which I thought he was going to score, by the way, that nice little cut back. And then
Bailey's.
the Bailey's off the crossbar. These were all at 1-1, by the way. Like, these are big moments in the game. The penalty, which they're given now. Is it a pen? It wasn't given by the ref on field. He's jumping up, his arms up, hits his arm, whatever. It's given.
As soon as
it's a
I
pen.
saw the replay, I knew it was going to be given.
No, as soon as he went to the
Yeah.
screen, it goes to the screen.
That whole rule of the arm being in the natural position needs to be reread. Unless you're an Irish dancer, you cannot leap 3 or 4 feet in the air to head a ball and have your hands down by your side. It's not possible. His hand was in a natural position.
I know you go like this.
I,
and push.
I don't want to hammer him, but I mean, Digne, he's not looking like a 20-25 million left back that we signed him. Yes, he's got a great left
he's
peg.
not. No,
And we all
he's
said
not.
that. I think Troy said he's either a 2 or he's like a 9.
And that's
And on those times when he's a 2, what is the point of having Augustinsenville, whatever his name is, on the bench if you're not going to use him? Why have him? What's the point?
Agreed. And I just found it funny that he's always been very sus defensively, even for Everton. Yes, we signed him, so I thought we're going to play fullbacks, maybe 3 across the back. Who knows? There's cover, but we're so exposed on our left side. It's all honestly. Matt Target would have done a better job. Honestly,
I think
And again,
Matt Target
another one-
defensively is better than Digne.
Yeah,
But
so do I.
And he
it's
was
just
half
going
of that
forward. I don't know. I mean, but yeah, I mean, look, it's terrible. We could probably talk for another hour about how bad it's been, but we are running out of time, so we got to do predictions. We got 2 rounds of predictions. So we got Bolton on Tuesday night in the EFL Cup away, and then West Ham next week. We will be doing a Bolton episode. So even if it's just me, I'll just we'll talk about the game and who impressed. Hopefully, a few changes. So Noah, first, let's hear what do you want to see at Bolton and prediction.
Bolton, just Olsen. I reckon Olsen will play. I don't know who's going to play at right back. We're going to have another right back. So probably Cash will probably play there.
Ishmael Assar.
Yeah, Ishmael Assar coming at right back. I honestly just want to see youth. I think the youth play with way more passion than any other players we have at the club. They really want to play there, want to prove a point. And
is Keenan Davis still around? Is he?
He's at Watford.
He's at Watford now. Yeah, but
He's at Watford.
He's crap. He's no good anyway.
We couldn't have swapped him for Saar.
Honestly, I would have taken that deal.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be a 1-1 draw and we'll win on pens for that game. I just don't think we'll blow them out the park. The way
Is there no replays?
Not the Carabao Cup, straight to
Okay.
pens.
Yeah.
Aman?
I think we won't put a fully 11 changes to a full reserve team. It will be a mix, but yeah, hopefully we get to see Chambers start in the game. Hopefully get to see Archer start in the game.
Yep.
And Tim Arabunum start in the game as well. I think we'll win, hopefully. Still, I don't think we're that bad to get beaten by Bolton. But yeah, just I think the biggest thing is even if we got points from the next lot of games, getting points is good, but we just need to see the performances get better. If we lose all 3 Premier League games, but we play well and we perform well, and it looks like there's some sort of plan, then that's a good thing.
Mm.
But even if we scrape a win against West Ham and get a draw against Arsenal, but we're still all over the shop, it's like another Everton performance. Like, I don't think that should keep him safe.
No, it
Like,
shouldn't.
I
That's
don't
the
think
thing.
that should keep him
I
safe.
agree.
So
I agree.
going for a win against Bolton, and I think against West Ham, go 1-1.
Okay, Troy.
Gerrard's got himself in a funny position because he can't afford to lose against West Ham, and you know that when you're coming across a team that hasn't scored for the entire season, he's getting pumped. Who do you want to play next? Aston Villa. So he won't want to lose there. So he's going to want his players fit, but he will also be looking at it thinking, you know what, I'm under the pump here. I need a good cup run. So do you count on youth for that? I think I'll agree with Aman on that. I think we'll play the majority of the first team with a smattering of young fellas. I think it'll be a very sad and sorry 1-0 win, and I don't think we'll deserve it. And as far as West Ham goes, I think it's got 0-0 written all over it.
Tommy?
I think it'll be 1-1 at West Ham. For the Bolton game, I think it'd be like Dougie and Tim to start in the middle. Archer, I think, will be up front and just flood the youth. Like Noah said, they've got purpose, and if they play well enough, hopefully he's impressed because his job's on the line, and I think that's desperation now. So if someone like Archer scores a couple, throw him in the mix now because it's not like our forwards are doing anything. And I guess just touching, a team that I know we shouldn't compare to them, but I look at Wolves and they just absolutely took it to Spurs with no Jimenez, and they signed that big name, multi-million, 35 million pound striker from Valencia, because Wolves were kind of like wish.com West Ham last year, and now they've I feel like they've leapfrogged them. Good attacking football. They're getting rid of Cody, who was like this talisman at their back, because now there's direction. They're like, we need to get to that next level. Got to make those big name signings. Let's do it. Neves starting to fire again. So they've managed to retain the players we all thought would leave.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's where
they're definitely better than us. That is for certain.
But on paper, pre-season would have been like, well, actually, we could go with the likes of Wolves. And then you look at the style of football they play under Lars, and you look at the shit play. It's two different things. Like I said, on paper, we're probably a top 10, maybe 8 side.
Not with this manager.
I just realised I contradicted myself to say West Ham, Villa's the team you want to play when you haven't scored, and then I predicted 0-0, so I'll go with 1-1.
Okay,
yeah,
I think we'll beat Bolton 2-0, and I think it'll be pretty much the starting lineup with Archer, Tim, maybe a couple of other changes. And then I think we'll lose to West Ham's. I think they're going to beat us 2-0. I can't see us beating them. I think they're a better team than us. I think they're desperate. I don't think that's good for us. Yeah.
Well, that being said, if we lose against West Ham, odds are we're going to lose our next 2 games. When does Gerrard actually leave?
That's what I said before. I think he'll be gone by the time we get to England, which is the 7th of September.
Yeah, I think it'll be probably around that Leicester game, the one that you go to, if we don't win that.
The game that we helped them win the Prem with, we're like that little Viagra pill every team wants. When you're having a bad patch, play Villa, you get your confidence back.
Should have got Paulo Fonseca. I said it last year. He's doing good things in France. He did lose 7-1 last night to PSG, but that is PSG. I'd say he's a good coach. He was interviewed apparently, and I would have liked him to be here, but unfortunately he's not. He's gone. That ship has sailed.
Not English, Scott. Not English. That's the problem.
No, he can talk English. He can speak English.
Little bit English.
Yeah, only a little bit, but good enough. Good enough.
I really spoke a little bit of English.
So do you, Tommy, but we still have you on the podcast.
All right.
Can Gerrard speak English? Maybe that's why players don't know what to do.
That's a good point. That is.
I'll call it. I reckon Gerrard. We're playing Forest on the 11th. I reckon Gerrard will get sacked on the 12th of October.
Yes.
He's got 4 games. 4 games.
4 games. Yeah, I think 4 games as well.
Not
including the Bolton game.
I just hate this so much because I swear this time last year we're going through exactly the same bloody turmoil.
We are. We're going through
just a roundabout, bro.
We've been going through it for like 30 years. Really,
I hate it so much.
40.
There's like one of these men with no Prem experience. Yeah, he's got a team of 45, but I said really comes down to the coach. You can have all the backroom stuff you want. You need to be the man. You are the face of the team. You are the reason the team performs well in that. Gerrard does say, it's on me and my backroom staff. It's on him. So I think
I'll
you
tell
need to have
what,
ownership.
Austin
It is-
McPhee's got to go, in my opinion. We are so
yeah.
bad at set pieces.
Haircut before he leaves the
Awful.
club first.
Yeah, he needs to be walked out. But that's it. That's it for this week. Thanks for joining in and listening and liking and subscribing, commenting. Let us know how badly you felt after the weekend, what you want to see, what changes, managerial changes, player changes. Who should we bring in the last weeks of the transfer window? Which players do you never want to see step on the field for Aston Villa again?
Gerrard.
And why is it Conta? Please just let us know how you feel. And thanks for the support. And we'll be back later this week for our review of Aston Villa's EFL trip to Bolton. So hopefully we can get a win there. We'll see you all next time. See ya.